It was a baseball controversy for the ages. Two of the greatest hitters of their era, one a disrespected, talented son of a bitch, and a guy whose team he played for was named after him. And the Frenchman was the only person that really had the chance to knock him off his pedestal. You know who him is. So today we're going to be talking about the scandal surrounding the 1910 baseball season and the batting title controversy between the great Nap Lajoie of the Cleveland Naps and, of course, the hated Ty Cobb of the Detroit Tigers. Now, the 1910 Chalmers Award scandal was an incident in which a Major League baseball team, the Browns, allegedly tried but failed to give Nap Lajoie the crown. Now, before the 1910 Major League Baseball season, Hugh Chalmers of the Chalmers Automobile Company announced a promotion in which a Chalmers Model 30 automobile would be given to the batting champions for Major League Baseball's American and National Leagues. At the start of the final day of the season, Ty Cobb of the Detroit Tigers had a slim lead in the race for the American League batting title, just a few percentage points ahead of Lajoie. Cobb was generally disliked by opponents, whereas Lajoie was more popular, even though some teams were jealous of him. Now, Cobb did not play in the Tigers' final two games of the season, and he finished with a batting average for him was a low 385. Now, Lajoie played a doubleheader on the last day of the season against the St. Louis Browns. Browns manager Jack O'Connor allegedly ordered rookie third baseman Red Corridon to play in the outfield grass. This all but conceded a hit for any ball Lajoie bunted. Lajoie had 8 hits in 8 at-bats and finished the season with a 384 batting average, 227 hits and 591 at-bats. His final at-bat resulted in a wild throw to first base, which was scored as an error. Under baseball rules, when a player reaches base on an error, it is treated as a hitless at-bat, thus it lowered his batting average. After news broke of the scandal, a writer for the St. Louis Post claimed all St. Louis is up in arms over the deplorable spectacle, conceived in stupidity and executed in jealousy. The issue was brought to the American League president Ban Johnson, great name by the way, who declared all batting averages official and Cobb the champion at 385.069 to Lajoie's 384.095. Chalmers, however, awarded automobiles to both Cobb and Lajoie, essentially declaring a tie. O'Connor and coach Harry Howell, who tried to bribe the official score to change the error to a hit, were banned from baseball for their role in the affair. Now, Chalmers gave an award to the league's most valuable player the following season instead of the player with the highest batting average. Cobb won the Chalmers Award in 1911, his best year ever, hitting an outstanding 420. Chalmers continued the award through the 1914 season after it was discontinued. Chalmers ceased to exist in 1923, although it was a predecessor to the modern company Chrysler. Cobb and Lajoie were eventually elected to the Baseball Hall of Fame, of course, giving out cars to MVPs and various baseball champions is nothing new. However, the modern scandal continued. In 1978, sports statistician Pete Palmer discovered a 1910 discrepancy in Cobb's career hit total, and the story was broken by the Sporting News in April 1981. Cobb is credited with 4,191 lifetime hits, still the total on MLB.com, but researchers say that a 1910 Detroit Tigers box score was counted twice in the season-ending calculations. The mistake caused the statisticians to give Cobb an extra 2 for 3, which credited Cobb with 2 non-existent hits and erroneously raised his 1910 batting average from 383 to 385. As Lajoie had a 384 average for the season, the revised figure would have cost Cobb 2 of his 12 batting titles, reduced his career average to 366, and given the 1910 batting championship to Lajoie. The mathematical mistake was described by one writer as follows. It could be said that 1910 produced 2 bogus leading batting averages and 1 questionable champion. Now, it doesn't really take away how good Cobb and Lajoie was for obviously to winning that batting title in Major League Baseball. You got to be pretty good. But Cobb, because of his sliding technique and his basically irritable personality, anybody, like I said, if you're considered Satan, anybody can look good against Ty Cobb. But what Lajoie, being the talent he was, he brought into perspective a lot of the positivity of baseball that was growing. It was becoming not what you call a game of anger to a game of important rivalries and stuff. Now, just a background, he was born in Woodstock, Rhode Island, and a lot of people believe he was either Acadian or Quebecois. Now, he was born to Jean Baptiste and Celine Gottin Lajoie, and he had immigrated to the States. Upon the arrival in the U.S., they settled in Rutland, Vermont, but did move to Woonsocket, where Nap, the youngest of 8 surviving children, was born. Throughout his childhood, Lajoie received little formal education, but the rest is history. But some of the Acadian communities also claim it as well, because the name Lajoie, there's also Savoie, which in certain parts is Acadian background. But it all depends, lost in the midst of time. We know he was French Canadian background, but not sure it was Acadian or, again, pure Quebecois. Either way, the fiery aspect of his talent, unlike Cobb, was done mostly for good. So it was, white hat, black hat. But to me, if I'm going to start a baseball team dealing with the early 1900s, I'm going to have Lajoie and Cobb on the top of my list, and later, Gehrig and Ruth if you're looking at the 20s. So, ladies and gentlemen, one of the greatest non-rivalries in baseball history. Who won it? If you have your own opinion on this, who you think should have won it, let me know with a like, comment, and also a subscribe if you like what you're doing here with our vintage podcast. So this is dedicated to some of the great followers of our channel, Daniel Bodum and Ryan Thompson. Both of them are big fans of baseball, and we really like doing this because in the off season you can have a cup of tea or a cup of coffee and look at baseball history, or in a case of hockey over the summer you can look at hockey history. And by the way, the reason I got inspired by this, I heard about this situation when I was a 7-year-old, and it was a scholastic book that came to my grade school in Nash Creek, New Brunswick, on the north shore of the province. And I used to do stats all the time and say to myself, well, if you take away the 2 for 3 or add the 2 for 3, this has been a scandal in my head to do a story on it for the last 50 years. So thank you for allowing me to draw more confusion from one of the most confusing batting races in Major League Baseball history. Thanks for listening. Bye.